Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Korra news update video. This one, there's only a very small piece of news to talk about. For the most part, the end of this video will be I suppose, channel update. I'll mainly talk a little bit about what's coming up on my channel. But in terms of Korra news this week, we have today, just one piece of news, and that is that Brian on Tumblr once again posted, this time, two new Book 3 images. They're both of Asami. We assume they're from the exact same scene, probably like seconds apart. You can see them both here. So as you can see, that's all it is. It's Asami. We have no idea where she is, and there's nothing really to say about them. And I think that says a lot about where we are in terms of Book 3 news right now. There's nothing really to discuss about these images. There's been little bits to talk about in the previous images. Why are Mako and Bolin in their underwear? Why are they fighting at night time potentially? Korra and Asami are sparring buddies. That was really interesting. This one, it's just Asami. And it's cool that they're giving Asami some focus in the lead up to Book 3. It really makes me think that she is going to be a real main character, while she really felt more like a supporting character in the last book, just with the way her story kind of fell out of the story. But this time, I like the way they seem to be at least setting her up to have a bigger role in Book 3. That's cool. This image doesn't hint anything about that. There's nothing to discuss about Book 3, really, because all of the info we have is just really general, really minor, and I think it says a lot that as much as the wait for Book 2 was bad, we had a decent amount of information about it pretty early on. Like, less than a month after Book 1 ended, we had San Diego Comic-Con 2012, and we knew that we had these characters like Unalaq, Eska, Desna, Varric. We knew Tonrock and Senna would have a bigger role in the story, and all this other stuff. We knew some of the stuff that we would be getting in Book 2 immediately. Key points being those new characters who were things to talk about. Even though they weren't saying a whole lot of details, we got small character bios. We knew that the twins were twins. We knew that Unalaq to some extent was Korra's spiritual mentor and stuff like that. We knew Varric was a businessman. So we got a lot of speculation, and some of the predictions were correct even that early on. With Book 3, we know basically nothing about the new characters. We know Great Laws of voicing a teenager who's potentially an earthbender, which is a cool idea, but they haven't announced anything about it. We know potentially Alison Stoner is either voicing a character in Book 3 or 4 called Opal, and we know that the Earth Queen potentially is a character in Book 3. And that's about it. There's been other pieces of news, definitely, but for the most part, that's been it. We haven't had full cast announced. We haven't seen anything about our new Book 3 characters. And we are probably at most 7 months off from the premiere of Book 3. And that says a lot, that, if I was to predict when Book 3 is going to air, I think it's going to be before San Diego Comic-Con. So I'm going to ask the question, where do we get our Book 3 news from? Coronation would be the obvious answer. They say they're going to start Phase 2 soon, but it's been like 2-3 months since Phase 1 ended and Book 2 ended. When are they coming back? Because it's really left to Brian to really kind of fill this void, because Nick just didn't build upon the end of Book 2 at all. It's just, the book ended, they forgot about the show. It was great that we got the announcement straight away that Book 3 was coming sooner than expected, but since then there's been nothing. There's no Book 2 merchandise announced. That's pretty shocking to say. Even with Book 1, we knew that there was a DVD coming, and eventually we got soundtracks and all this other stuff, art book. Right now, no Book 2 merchandise has been announced. No DVD, no Blu-ray, no art book, no soundtrack yet. Nothing announced, and we're like 4 to 7 months away from the start of Book 3. I just really sometimes question Nick's decisions about some of this stuff. Coronation really needs to get starting, I suppose, is the main point here. And I definitely want to know what your guys' thoughts are on just the state of, I suppose, the fandom right now and how Nick are handling this sort of thing. Um, do you, at least for me, I think we're just in a kind of really odd position where we're kind of in a worse position than we were for book two, even though we know our weight is going to be less, but we're getting so much less information that it's almost a worse position. I really want to know what your guys' thoughts are on like how the fandom is right now in regards to just news about stuff. I'm so excited for the release of the Search hardcover on February 5th, simply because for me that's when 2014 in terms of the Avatar year begins. That's the first piece of Avatar merchandise that's going to come out this year, and finally there'll be something really interesting to talk about with some that you can actually have a discussion about that's new, and I'm really excited for that. And then the Rift is coming up in March, so it's really been left all on the comics to kind of keep us going, I think, and they really need to work out something with regards to Korra. Like, I hope they do some sort of web series like we had Republic City Hustle. I think they desperately need to put out some form of a web series, web comic for Korra to keep us going, because it's just kind of dreadful right now to be in this fandom in terms of just waiting for stuff to happen. One other final piece of news would be that March 13th is going to be the Nick Upfront 2014 event. This is the event where Nick primarily focuses on the new shows that they're going to be airing during the upcoming TV season. They do sometimes mention, when new series are going to air. Everyone expected Book 2 was going to get its announcement at this event. Didn't happen. Core Book 1 was announced when it would premiere at Nick Upfront, I think. But this time, knowing that how far into production they are and that potentially this would be the perfect place to announce a release date, this actually looks likely, because as I said, we're probably 4 to 7 months off. Come March, that'll be down to probably 2 to 5 months at most. It would make sense for them to announce this here, but as I said, it's not confirmed in any way. And this event is primarily focused on new shows that Nick will be airing as opposed to new seasons of shows that already are airing. But it's just something to kind of look forward towards. But again, we're getting to that same Book 2 mentality where we were just desperate to get any piece of news and we're just clinging on to anything, whether that be some voice actor or actress appearing at a con, when realistically it makes no sense for there to be Book 2 news. It's the same thing happening again. This year just really needs to get going in terms of big core news. Comics are going to be like clockwork. We're going to know exactly when they're all coming out. Just Korra is a bit all over the place right now. So that's the end of the news. I'm just going to talk a bit about some upcoming stuff on my channel. Obviously right now you'll notice that I've been putting out primarily the Korra episode commentaries. And I only have 3 more of those to do for Book 2, the last 3 episodes. So I'll have them done probably by early next week. Also early next week I'll probably have another trading card game video, this time for the new trading card game Future Card Buddy Fight. I'm expecting my stuff to arrive sometime next week. Not exactly sure when it'll arrive, but hopefully it will, and I'm excited to discuss that. The game was... The starter decks were only released a few days ago. Booster set 1 is released tomorrow, so my stuff will be shipping today or tomorrow. So I'll have a video for the Future Card Buddy Fight out, so I'm excited for that. Then at Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will be starting again, or I'm pretty sure at the weekend it starts. And I will be getting back to those reviews. Obviously, I've just been, like everyone else, waiting for the show to come back. Really weird way Nick handles Turtles as well, with the giant breaks. Thankfully they don't treat Korra that way, and they make sure that all of the episodes are ready to come out in one block, and they put it in an airing schedule where they don't have to take a break over Christmas. That's the one good thing Nickelodeon really do with Korra. They make sure that they can air it in pretty much one block, and I like that. But yeah, I'll be getting back to those reviews, and maybe I'll be doing some other stuff like some anime reviews, stuff like that. But yeah, that's the main plan I have right now. if you're looking for more Avatar content with obviously not much going on, definitely check out the Avatar Online podcast. I don't mention this enough on my channel, but it's the podcast I do for Avatar The Last Airbender Online. It's called the Avatar Online podcast, as I said, and basically it's myself and somewhere between 1 and 2, 3 other hosts. It's hard to organize people, but for the most part, there's a variety of people on every week. Kelly, whose channel is the Sherlock Avatar, is on most weeks. Troy's Carpenter on YouTube is on pretty much every week. And people like that. People from the site, if you're on the site, you'll probably know who's on it. We talk about the latest news every week. We answer some listener questions. And coming up at the weekend, we'll be doing our second Legend of Korra Book 1 Air episode review. We're doing them randomly. Last week we did the first one and we started off with And the Winner Is, episode 6. This week we're doing, randomly chosen, was episode 10, Turning the Tides. So one of the best episodes of book 1 of Korra, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. Hopefully some news comes out, so there'll be more to talk about in the show, but either way, it's always fun to talk with other Avatar fans, and definitely check out the podcast. Links will be in description to the podcast and the site and stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, and bye.